Hello there. Just checking here. It's my first stream on this channel. Checking that everything is up and running correctly. That looks good. Looks like YouTube is running. Twitch too. That's great. Well, welcome. It's a little experiment I'm doing. Thought I would try to get some work done on Hexcrawl today. Help motivate myself by live streaming a little of my progress. So that's what we're doing. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. Here's my roadmap. As you can see, we've gotten through quite a little bit, but today we're focused on quest failure. I'm pretty close to done with quest failure, actually. Let's see if we can look at our feature plan. So for folks who don't know, Hexcrawl is a web-based RPG that I've been tinkering with. It's single player, uses an LLM under the covers to generate dynamic content. In the very beginning, when you create your character, you write some freeform text about the character's background. The game itself uses a lot of kind of traditional procedural generation. It's not the AI slop factory by any means. But it is using AI to try and tie together your text about your character's background and the plot of the overall role-playing game. So it's fun. It's I try to find the balance with AI usage. I think AI is an interesting tool. It's not the be-all, end-all, and it certainly has its limitations. Ideally, I would love this thing to run on a tiny model that maybe is even embedded on your client. For now, though, we're using what are we using? I believe we're using Llama 327B, real small, real tiny model. Again, with the goal of getting it off the cloud. Anyway, quests. So quests are a thing. That is a piece of the dynamic content that the LLM generates. It knows vaguely what your goals are in the world. It knows some high-level plot lines of things you're trying to accomplish. And quests get generated when you go and talk to an NPC, and they have their motivations and their desires, what they want. You have yours. And that's where the LLM really does the magic and tries to tie all that text together and figure out what would be interesting for this NPC to ask you to go do for them. The specific section we're working on here is quest failure, and I'm at the very end of it. I'd like to write these kind of phased plans for feature implementation. So this is my quest failure escalation is what I call it. So originally, when you failed a quest in the game, you go to the location, you search the ruins for the hidden mysterious clue, and you just fail the skill check or whatever. It kind of falls flat, and then you return to the NPC and they behaved as if you did the thing they asked you, and they move on, and it just sounds weird and wrong. Failure should be a monumental or consequential moment. So what I'm really looking at is like, what are the stakes, right? This is when I'm running tabletop D&D, I ask myself, what are the stakes of failure? If I succeed at the role, obviously I get the thing that I'm trying to do done. But if I fail at the role, does it necessarily mean that the thing doesn't happen? Maybe the thing does happen, but in a bad way or with a consequence. That's what we're working on here. So you can see I have kind of three. I don't know if this text is big enough for the stream for folks who are looking on their stream here, but you can see we have three potential outcomes here for failure. Maybe the thing was guarded. You were whatever it is you were trying to examine or discover, turns out was guarded by an enemy, a hostile creature of some kind. So now you're in a fight. So instead of just successfully sneaking into the ruins and finding the MacGuffin, you've awakened its its guardians, and now you've got to fight. It's relocated. It was never here. You went to the wrong place. The princess is in another castle. And then the system will, under the covers, try to discover, well, where is it? And then leave you a clue for where it is. It's in a different location. The system relocates the target and then gives you some kind of clue. So you still succeed at something. You uncovered something. What you uncovered is information about where the thing really is. We have rival. Someone else got here first. Another NPC is here. Now you're going to have to deal with them. And so, anyway, I've implemented a lot of this already. We're kind of in the final testing phases of this. And so when I write these feature plans, I break it down into phases. What is the work that needs to get done? That's pointless. Okay. And then what kind of testing can I do to make sure that it really is doing what it's supposed to be doing? So you can see phase one here was just the framework and the concept of it being guarded. That was the easiest one to do, just drop into combat. The second phase was someone else got here first. Let's throw an NPC in. And the third phase, which we're going to test here, is the item is not here. It's relocated somewhere else, maybe. So it still feels like a failure, right? I went to find this thing, this information, this object, whatever it is, whatever the quest was. I went to discover it. It's not here. It's in a different location. Quests are all firmly planted in a location on the map. I mean, it's hex crawl. You're moving around hexes. So basically the code is implemented and we're going to do the testing. You can see my first test here is to force a failure that rolls relocated. The failure text is the "it was never here" reveal and includes a clue about where it went. And the clue is accurate. The direction, the terrain type, gives you some information. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get into my code here. And I'm going to remind myself where the heck... let's see if we just look for the concept of relocation. Yeah, there we go. Eligible escalations. We're just going to hack this and make it so that relocated is the only option. Force that to happen. Sure. That sounds good. What do we got here? Okay. Gosh, are things running? Things are probably not running. Is my database up? It's not. Let's turn that on. There we go. Now we're looking better. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna have an error. Sharing. Oh, maybe I need to rebuild my shared library. There we go. That's better. Yeah. Okay. What else? Probably also want to look at the database. So it's in Mongo. I've got it running in Docker here for the local testing. I've got some tools that will do things like snapshot Mongo, so I can jump back to specific places. Maybe I should have done that. Let's see, what else do I have? What do I have in my snapshots right now? Investigate a place seems like a good snapshot to potentially start from, so let's do that. What did I call it? Investigate place. There we go. Yes, blow away my database. Put different data in there. Thank you. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, I have got a quest. The quest is to investigate the Amorian ruins. Let's see what that looks like in our data. Yeah, deal with that later. I'm gonna guess it's the third one, probably. That one's completed. That one's completed. This one. Okay, what mechanics do we have here? This is an investigate of a specific place, as I expected, at Hex 315. Okay, so an investigate quest should force resolution, hopefully with some kind of skill check, and then I should be able to force myself to fail it. I put some cheats in recently, and this is available. This game is super pre-alpha right now. I'm still just tinkering around and prototyping stuff. So if you go log in and play, no guarantees. I might blow the database away at some point. Probably going to happen, so don't get too attached to your characters. But the good news is cheats are on for everybody. So anytime you see the little yellow lightning bolt, you got some cheats there. So for example, in this case, we know that because I've looked it up in the database. We know that. Let's see how this actually presents to the player. If I go to my quest log, it says investigate the Amorian ruins to the southwest and report back to M. Darkberry. M. Darkberry, a wise sage, believes the ruins to the southwest of the mountains hold the answer where the missing bottom shard of the Amorian tablets went. She asks you to travel there, search the site, and bring back word of what you find. Okay, to the southwest, and we happen to know that it's actually 315. I'm in the Amorian ruins. Wait, I'm literally there right now. I was not expecting that. Where's M. Darkberry? Okay, we can go into our lore. M. Darkberry. It doesn't tell me where M. Darkberry is. Well, it's got to be northeast, right? Because M. Darkberry said that the ruins were to the southwest. There's return to. Oh, I'm in a bad state here. It looks like I've already. Like the quest should be ready to complete. Yeah. Oh yeah. Status ready to complete. Okay. This quest is not in the right state. Okay. I've restored from a bad save point. Sorry about that. Rats. I don't know that I have a good snapshot for this. So what we're going to do is we're going to restore to the base snapshot. And that should be at the very beginning of the game. And the reason I say this is not the best is the particular adventure I'm on is the quest to find the 3 lost Amorian shards. I don't know which one the quest giver is going to send me to go find first, and only one of them is going to result in the kind of quest we want to see. Okay, no quest data. I'm at the very beginning of the game. I should know very little. I guess I can show off a little bit too if folks are curious. So like, here's my character sheet. I've got stats and skills and inventory and health and mana and all that good stuff, but also motivations. And this is the raw text that I wrote when I first created the character. So it asked me 3 questions that I had to answer. Where do you come from, Wanderer? I come from the household of Lord Vethran, where I served as a page until the day I saw what he truly was. So Lord Vethran's no good dude. What burning desire fuels your journey? To kill the warlord Scareth before he does to another village what he did to mine. Man, I have a lot of enemies. I guess I was testing inventing NPCs in this, because the system will scrape the text that I enter and create objects, create NPCs, seed them into the world. Yeah, okay, I was clearly playing with that, because what personal burden weighs on my steps? I owe 600 crowns to the lender named Torvin the Pale, who has a long memory and a longer reach. So, okay, so I've clearly been trying to fill this with all kinds of people. And Lord Vethran, as you can see, has made it into the game. The Lord I once served, who betrayed my trust, he's still a master of politics and trade, always looking to expand his power and wealth. I know I have no love for him, but I suppose he's not entirely evil, just self-serving. So clearly there's some LLM invention in there. Because that's all, the only text I wrote was that I found out what he, quote, truly was. So, self-serving. I guess he's just a jerk. Okay. Here's M. Darkberry. Bit of a puzzle. I think they're genuinely helpful. We met through a mutual acquaintance, and they've been assisting me in my research of the Amorian tablets. They seem passionate about keeping those ancient relics out of the wrong hands. They've been trying to help me locate the scattered shards. M's a bit of a mystery, but I appreciate their expertise and willingness to lend a hand. We also have a character named Maya the Fighting Sorcerer. It seems to have nothing to do with anything. Okay, we're not going to worry about. Oh, and there you go. Place. So from my past, there's this household of Lord Vethran, whereabouts unknown. For now. Okay, but this is M. Darkberry right here. I'm right next to them, so I'm going to go visit M and see what kind of quest M gives me. I'm hoping for. I know that there are 3 shards out there, and that the way the adventure is written is it kind of just gives these broad strokes of there are 3 shards. You have to collect them. Here are some vague hints about where they might be hidden. And one of them is certainly hidden in the ruins, which is the one I'm hoping for. Here we go. Well, I was just reviewing our notes on the Amorian tablets. I think we finally narrowed down the location of the last shard. Care to take a look? They gestured the parchment and a faint scent of pipe smoke wafts from the nearby brazier, where a half-smoked pipe lies abandoned. Interesting, weird little detail invention there. Okay. M's expression turned serious as they glanced at the parchment, their brow furrowed and concerned, as if they've already anticipated potential obstacles to their plan. Yeah, I could offer my sword in exchange for the parchment. That doesn't sound like a good deal. Admit that I've been on the road for days without a decent meal. I'm just hungry. No, let's examine the parchment. What do you got for me, Em? What's on there? Just keep half an eye on the chat in case anyone shows up. Not that I'm really expecting anyone to. It's not like I announced this anywhere. Being a little slow on the generation here. There we go. So this is talking to an LLM that's running locally on my machine. Like I said, we're in Llama 3.2, 7B, running in Olama. Just using my own GPU for that. I'm trying to keep costs and resource impacts to a minimum. Let's think this through, Bill. We know the tablet... Sorry, let's... M. Darkberry says to me, now let's think this through, Bill. We know the tablet of Amoria, the middle shard, is in Lord Vethran's household, and we'll need to navigate the potential dangers to succeed. I've been studying the layout of the household, and I think I've found a route that might take us past most of the traps, but I'll need you to verify the safest path. This is definitely not the quest I was hoping for, but okay. So I've got a guy that I don't trust who's self-serving, and he's got one of the things that I need. Shit. I guess I gotta go face my past. Let's just look at the data that I created. So M. Darkberry's asking me to go fetch an existing item from a known NPC. Well, M, that's not great. So if we navigate to that, oh, sure enough, what do you know? Lord Vethran, there's your castle. I gotta go there to reclaim the tablet. Where is that? Just south of me? Now, the game, normally, if I was going to play the game, naturally, I would actually have to spend move points and days of travel to get through all these horrible mountains, which would take forever. But I'm going to cheat, and I'm just going to jump right on down there. Normally here, if I had walked there naturally, you would see the little dot of it thinking, because it's definitely querying the LLM now. But since this is a cheat, I didn't guss it up with nice graphics. Lord Vethran, what a happy little fella you look like. Lord Vethran, resplendent in his velvet-trimmed doublet, strokes his goatee as he gazes at you, a mixture of curiosity and suspicion etched on his face. The memory of your past as a page in his household seems to stir faint recognition in him, but is quickly suppressed as he returns to his game of chess. The tablet of Amoria, the middle shard, sitting innocently on the chessboard between the pieces. Yeah, nice touch there, AI. His eyes flicker back to you, a spark of interest lingering in their depths. Ask if he'd trade the tablet for the iron. So I'm going to give him my sword. It's the only piece of equipment I have on me. You want this sword? Ask about the tablet of Amoria. Ask to join the game of chess. Continue watching the game of chess. Fascinating. Okay. This is not what I'm trying to test, but I get drawn in. I kind of want to know what the LLM thinks it's generating here. So it's supposed to give me a couple of leads. We're going to cheat and look at some of the raw data here. So continue watching the game of chess is just a leave action. That's poor. That's poor generation there, because that did not read to me as I'm going to walk away. Aid, asked to join the game of chess as an aid. Okay, this is a known issue. Actually, this is something I need to come back to. The aid node is supposed to be for what we saw earlier, with the more friendly NPC offering me food, offering me healing. They're supposed to be genuinely helpful. Someone like Lord Vethran, who presumably I do not have a good relationship with, should not be offering to aid me. And then making up text to force an aid node of asked to join a game of chess is crazy. So that's clearly wrong. Ask about the Tablet of Moria as a quest, so I could potentially try to earn his trust by going on a quest for him. That's a little more reasonable. And then exchange, ask if he's trade. Yeah. So we're just gonna look up there's some more data here just out of curiosity. There's Lord Vethran. What's my relationship with you like? My reputation is curious. So okay, so he doesn't hate me, I don't hate him. We're kind of in this unsure space. But let's see if I have a more detailed relationship. I have a relationship with the player, acquaintance, and he betrayed my trust. So maybe actually, I don't know, maybe he's not such a terrible guy. I don't know. I know the terrible truth about him, whatever that is. Let's see if he's willing to trade. Take this sword. It's worth a couple coppers, I'm sure. Lord Vethran's gaze drifts back to the tablet of Amoria, the middle shard, and a hint of smile plays on his lips as he regards it with a calculating air. Ah, you want the tablet, Bill. I'm afraid it's not for the likes of you. It's worth 500 gold, and I'm not interested in haggling. If you're serious about acquiring it, I suggest you return with a more substantial purse. He returns to his chess game, the tablet still sitting innocently on the board, his expression unreadable. Well, we can say nothing and plan to steal it later, or we can leave it be. Yeah, we're gonna steal it. Excellent. Okay, so this is actually one of the earlier failure notes, which I've already tested, so I happen to know it works. We're going. So that quest just morphed under the covers. You remember it used to be fetch this quest from a specific NPC. Now it has become fetch a hidden thing from this specific location. Okay, we are gonna. I have 10 gold, 20 gold. I have 20 gold and 10 food, so I'm gonna pay to stay at the inn here at Lord Vethran's and wait till the evening, and hopefully break into his abode and steal the tablet. I'm already at full health, so don't get anything from resting. That's fine. You approach the castle of Lord Vethran, perched atop a mountain peak. A winding path leads to the imposing structure, the wind carrying the faint scent of pipeweed and roasting meats. Snowflakes dance in the castle's courtyard, oblivious to the subtleties of the noble's inner workings. So I guess I'm back outside now? I feel like I should have been like, I paid to stay at the inn. We lost some context there, LLM. This is not what I'm trying to test. Oh, I get so drawn into this stuff. Not what I'm trying to test. I will need to test failing a skill check in a quest, in a fetch hidden quest that's going to then relocate the thing. Then we know for sure the thing is here. Yeah, I just got to get through this and get the other quest. So we're just going to crawl the walls. This is not the quest I'm looking for. This is my own fault for not putting myself in a good spot. So the other thing I'm going to have to remember is when I do get the quest I want is to immediately take a database snapshot so I can roll back and test again. Carefully make your way around the castle's perimeter, staying in the shadows as you search for an opening to slip inside. Let's just... normally you would click here and it would roll dice and maybe you win, maybe you lose, but I'm going to cheat and just succeed at this. Oh, what do you know, natural 20. As you peer in the courtyard, you catch a glimpse of a small ornate box nestled between two stone pedestals. The box bears an intricate pattern of vines and flowers, and a faint aura of magical energy surrounds it. You suspect that it may be the middle shard, safely stored for now. Lord Vithrin's people are engrossed in their meal, distracted from your presence. Return to M. Darkberry to claim your reward. I found the Tablet of Amoria. Objective complete. Great. Take that. Let's go turn this quest in. And hopefully get another quest that is something more like what I'm trying to test here. So relieved, etc., etc. Great. Give me some gold and a shield. Not bad. Not bad. If I had enough gold, I could have probably just bought the thing off of Lord Vithrin there. That would have been interesting. Yes. Let's offer to... No, I'm just skimming, but let's offer to retrieve the shard. Give me a search quest that is not attached to an NPC, please. I heard that Arnbjorg is a cunning and elusive creature. This shard is also guarded. Not what I'm looking for. I'm gonna have to go through this whole stinking content here just to get to the use case I want. And this is the problem with working with LLMs, non-deterministic. You don't know what you're gonna get. I'm gonna try and blast through this content as quickly as I can. So the third shard will be the one that is hidden in a ruins, which is what I'm after here. Arnbjorg the Hare. Yeah, let's just fight. Let's fight. Okay, and let's cheat and just kill them all. There you go. Go, go, go. We did it. Got it. Great. Okay. Go return that to our boss. Quest complete. Thanks. I got another shield. That's you're just swimming in shields, aren't you, M. Darkberry? Should probably equip one of those shields. Not that I plan to fight much here. Okay. Castle said to be cursed, and the vault traps are notorious for their deadliness. That's the kind of quest I'm looking for, M. Okay. Yes, I will retrieve the bottom shard for you. Excellent. And I'm gonna take a peek here at the data. So quest 3. Mechanics. Fetch an existing item that is hidden in a location. But not really, because we're gonna fail, and it's gonna turn out to be somewhere else. Okay, before I get in too deep here, take a snapshot. We'll call this fetch hidden. Great. Okay. Okay. Great. Retrieve the shard. Let's go do it. As you step into the ancient castle ruins, the wind howls through the crumbling halls, and the faint scent of old parchment. Wow, my eye skipped that, and I originally read that as the faint scent of old feet. Sorry. The faint scent of old parchment wafts through the air. The ground beneath your feet is littered with broken stones and discarded treasures. You've arrived at the first site where M. Darkberry has pinpointed the bottom shard's location. The first site. Well, come back to that bug. Clear the rubble and begin your search. Okay, what we're hoping to see here, I'm going to go back to my testing doc. Force a failure that rolls relocated. The failure text, it was never here. A clue about where it went. Okay. Start searching the walls, and I'm going to cheat a failure here. I wonder what I will roll. Oh, one. The dust flies up from the scattered stones as you examine the walls and pedestals. You brush aside the debris but find nothing except a weathered parchment that's been torn loose. It's stuck to the damp surface by a bit of sticky sap. The crude drawing on the parchment depicts a winding path that stretches northeast, disappearing into the tree line. It looks like some sort of crude map. The realization sinks in. You'll find the bottom shard if you find it at all in the wrong direction. Wait, what? You'll find the bottom shard if you find it at all in the wrong direction. That is a weird sentence. Nevertheless, it does seem to be indicating that I found a map, I guess. Somebody left a map behind. Tree line to the northeast. That sounds reasonable. Tree line to the... what's happened to my quest state, though? My quest journal. Oh, it shows as failed. That's... potentially not right. Let's take a look at where we're at in the data. Because it shouldn't be failed. It should still be in progress. I just screwed up this part of it, and it should move somewhere else. So its location... Wait, do we need to refresh here, maybe? It should be at 315. I don't think it relocated it either. It put it in failed... Well, I don't think this worked at all. Rats. Oh, boy. I'm closing the scene. The quest is in a failed section. The journal and map marker is gone. I mean, I don't think that's what we really wanted, though. The quest giver acknowledges the... Talk to the quest giver until one offers a new fetch quest. Oh, I'm totally wrong. It does fail the quest, but it relocates the item. Let's go back to that quest. Let's look at that quest again. The item spec is this item instance. Let's look up that item instance. Yep, okay, so there it is. That's the bottom shard. And what's its location? 812. So, okay, so the shard has been relocated as an item. The quest is failed. The quest giver acknowledges the fail. Okay. I guess it did do this. It did force a fail. I forced a failure. It included a clue about where it went. The clue is accurate. 812. Let's see if I zoom out here. 812 was kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8, and this is 1918. It looks like it's maybe up in the swamp. I thought it talked about tree line. I was expecting forest. We're zero based. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. It's still a swamp. It's still a swamp. Well, okay. Well, let's return to our quest giver and see. Can I use this guy? Yeah. Let's jump back to M. Darkberry. Let's see what M has to say. Okay, I thought it was going to just continue the quest, but I guess all I did was the relocate. It's been a while since I wrote this code, and I'm in the third phase of testing here. I kind of took a little break from writing the code for a little while there to focus on setting up stuff like my online presence, so the surrounding website, and I have a new personal indie dev website called paulmsiegel.com. It's just my name. It's the same as my handle here on Twitch and YouTube. When you go to paulmsiegel.com, you'll see all kinds of information about what indie project I'm working on now. Right, hex crawl's really got my focus at the moment, but I might move on to other stuff. You never know. Thought it would be better to start kind of promoting myself in general rather than specific projects, because I have the attention span of a goldfish. That's not true. Beating myself up. Okay. Darkberry's eyes sparkle as they rummage through the dusty shelf, their fingers tracing intricate etchings on marble. I was sure I had this somewhere. I've been studying the layout of the Amorian ruins, and I'm convinced the bottom shard lies hidden in the ancient structures. I've made a rough map, but I fear I've missed something crucial. You can take a look, Bill. Perhaps your keen eye will spot what I've overlooked. Is that the quest giver acknowledging failure? It seems pretty light. I mean, I guess it is. It's, you know, I guess they're acknowledging it. Yeah, let's examine the map together. Let's take a look. See what you missed, Em. You sent me on a wild goose chase to the wrong place. Okay, so talk to the quest giver, see if they give me a new fetch quest to go find it where it really is. Now that you've had a chance to study the map, I think it's time for you to head to the Amorian ruins and see if I missed. Marked areas I believe are most likely to hold the bottom shard, but I fear that without your keen eye, I may have overlooked something crucial. Will you please investigate the ruin? No, see, but I'm pretty sure it's not in the ruin. I think you got that wrong, Em. I think you got that wrong. And what we're going to do next here, that's the wrong project. There we go. We're going to look at, I'm going to look at the AI log of all the things we've talked to the AI about. There's the response, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to look at the prompt here. You're writing a counter dialogue. Your task, write dialogue for NPC. Yes. 2 to 3 sentences, etc. Sounds rules. Okay, quest. I'm on unearthing the bottom shard. M. Darkberry needs your help finding the bottom shard, a vital piece of ancient Amorian tablet. Their rough map suggests the shard lies within the Amorian ruins, which are said to... Okay, so that's why it thinks. So the description of the quest still says it's hidden in the Amorian ruins, but we know it's not, right? We investigated the ruin. It was definitely not there. Let's just double check what the actual quest data came up with. So we have a new quest, quest number 4. It is an investigate quest, a location of 315. That's the wrong location. Okay, so the problem is before the text generation, the problem is the quest generation. Let's scroll up and see. So this is quest narrative. This is quest select location. You're selecting mechanical details for a quest and hex crawl. Yep. Okay. What happened? The quest narrative has already been written. Your task: choose the location of the quest. Yeah. No. So we've leaked context. We've leaked bad context here. Interesting. We might have to go way back even further. What's the prompt before that? Quest generate. Yes. Okay. You're building a quest. Choose the type of quest. Fields to write, etc., etc. What did you come up with? You investigate. Dark is asking to investigate the Amorian ruin. Yeah. You're just obsessed with it being in the Amorian ruin. And the target ID. What is that the ID of? Yeah, you're targeting the ruins instead of where the tablet actually is. So the problem here is that all the information, that all the context that M. Darkberry has is that the location of the shard is in the ruins. I failed to find it in the ruins, and so the quest failure escalation decided that information was wrong. It relocated where the thing was, but that context has not percolated up. And so now that information about where the thing actually is very wrong. Is it the bottom shard? That's the one I'm looking for, right? Bottom shard. Okay, so see, so it does know in the item context that the tablet of memory, the bottom shard, bearing the Cipher, is hidden somewhere in the wilds. The player has not discovered it yet. Yep, that item definitely hidden. But we should be targeting that item, not this place. The problem is there's some context in here still that's stuck around with this about M. Darkberry suspecting that it's in the Amorian ruins. Is there information in... See, in fact, in the context, we even have this in the log. Bill searched for the tablet of memory at the bottom shard and found it had never been there. The trail leads northwest toward the swamp, hex 315. Okay, so the context we want's in there, but there's still information leading the AI the wrong direction here, and thus making it generate a quest that is targeting the wrong stuff. It's a puzzler, this one. Look at the data that it generated again. So it's chosen to investigate. I'm just going to read through this whole prompt. I know this is a long prompt, and this is maybe not the most exciting content for a stream, but let's read this whole system prompt. You're an omniscient story. You're an omniscient author of the story, et cetera, et cetera. Your task: given an NPC their motivations and conversations so far in the true state of the world, decide what kind of quest this is and sketch it. This is an internal planning step. Nothing you write here is shown to the player. A later step selects the concrete enemies, items, and locations from the game's real data. And another step writes the player-facing title and description. Your outline only has to capture the intent, so those later steps have something to work from. So this is the very top of the funnel for quest generation. If you've seen my article on Hexcrawl devlog, I wrote an article about how kind of the way I organize my prompts is through this like specificity must fall downstream. So we start with kind of vague notions, these broad strokes of what it is we're trying to invent for the quest. Then I start injecting real game data and saying, okay, well, given that you want this sort of quest, here's the data you can select from. Now pick from this list. That helps kind of keep the LLM pointed in a specific direction without it hallucinating. And in the past, I had this problem called the Glimmerwing problem, where I asked it to invent a quest, and it was like, "Oh, you got to go into the woods and hunt Glimmerwings." I was like, "What the hell is a Glimmerwing?" There's no enemy type in my game called Glimmerwing. It totally made it up, and just because it was doing it in the wrong direction. It was trying to invent narrative and game data all in one pass. And you can't do that. You've got to start with like, give me the broad outline. Now here's game data. Which game data do you want to use? Okay, now given the broad outline and the game data, now write the narrative that actually is exposed to the player. That's the process I've been using. Usually it works pretty well. But here we are. I'm going to embiggen this text a little bit since I'm going to be staring at it for a little while. Maybe you folks want to see it. Anybody who might happen to bump into this stream. Here we go. Okay. And my cat is here to help. Okay, so the quest giver, however, is not omniscient. They may be acting on a hunch, a rumor, partial research, or instinct. They don't know the exact whereabouts of everything. So while you target a real objective, which you can see, let the outline reflect the giver's own knowledge may be incomplete. This might be the part of the prompt that's getting us in trouble. There's an information exchange that didn't happen. I discovered that the item was not where the quest giver thought it was. That information has to percolate into the quest giver's memories. That might be our problem. Okay, right. Okay, so here's the different quest types: attack, investigate, deliver, fetch. I think given the fact that the new location is unknown. We have vague hints about where it might be. Investigate is the right type of quest to choose. I wouldn't expect it to be a fetch. Fetch is usually I know exactly where this thing is. That was the kind of quest we were getting with Lord Vethran. We knew Vethran had the thing. Go and get it. So correct choice. LLM investigate was good. Field strike quest type. Yep, an outline, 2 to 4 sentences. A target ID only for investigate quests. The exact ID of one world entry tagged. Investigate eligible. The person or place the quest sends the player to track down, but not object, no item. Omit or set to null for all requests. So, okay, here we go. This feels like smoking gun right here. The target ID is specifically said to be a person or place, but it could be an item. I might not even have, or at least you need to do a double hop to get to the place. We know that the item is hidden in a hex, and so it could be the objective is to go find the hex because we know the item is hidden there. You would need to know. Yeah. There's some context missing here. Okay. Investigate target rules. Entries in the world section tagged investigate eligible are people or places that exist in the map but which the player is not yet located. If one of them naturally connects to the NPC's motivation, prefer investigate. The quest sends the player to find where it is and set the target ID to the exact ID. If the world section shows an item or place the player is already located, know it and where to find it, prefer fetch or attack. For investigate quest, the player is not yet pinned down the target's whereabouts. That is the whole point of the beat. Yep. You may note the true location internally, but frame the objective as something still to be discovered. The later player-facing steps. Okay, do not force a connection. Rules for the outline. Okay, I think I can skim ahead. What I really want to look at is what things have this investigate eligible tag. So this is the system prompt. So this is all just statically written by me. Sometimes some elements, I do have a system that will sometimes assemble a system prompt from fragments. That allows me to do logic in the code because I don't want to ever prompt the AI with things like, well, if X, then do Y, but if Z, then do no. So sometimes I assemble these prompts from pieces. The user prompt is usually where all the data is. That's all the state of the game has gotten shoved into the user prompt. So here's what we know. We know the player character's name is Bill. His pronouns are he, him. We know that the NPC involved is M. Darkberry. They have they, them pronouns. They're a sage. Their motivations are find, help, locating, and retrieving each of the 3 Amorian tablet shards, and keep the vault's dangerous relics out of enemy hands. No particular relationships. Here's that text about NPC, the M. Darkberry being a bit of a puzzle, but they've been insisting me in researching. Okay, great. The world, true state. Just gonna drop a new line in here so it's easier for me to read. Lord Vethran. Maya the fighting sorcerer. So here we got 2 people, irrelevant to what's going on. Places, the household of Lord Vethran. The Amorian ruins, somewhere the player knows it, where to find it. Like, yep, I've been there. None of these things say. Oops, what I wanted to look, what was the tag? What was the magic tag? Investigate something. Investigate eligible. I'm not seeing anything that's investigate eligible. So it's the funny thing here is you only see 2 of the 3 shards listed in items because I think one of them, I think one of them's in my possession, right? Let's look. Kind of curious where. Oh, we only have 1 item instance here. I was expecting more. I was expecting more item instances. What happened to the other shards? Okay, that's a problem for another day. I think this bug is getting bigger than I had hoped for. Okay, and it's just status though. The NPC is not traveling with me. They remain at their location. The conversation so far. That's just a full log of everything we've said. And then the recent adventure log. And the recent adventure log is the only real thing that shows me where the thing I'm looking for here is. That where this. So it's interesting here that we've got the actual hex location. No, that's the hex location of where this event happened, 315, which is the Amorian ruin. What we don't have in here anywhere is the hex location of the actual thing. The Tablet of Amoria bottom shard is hidden somewhere in the wilds. It does. So this should probably, I feel like this section should have our tag in it. If I was going to hand edit this, which I'm not, but probably should have our tag in it. And something about, hex 8. What did I say it was? We know it. 812. We know its location. We know that it should be investigate eligible. Also, I'm a little worried about the investigate not being even able to target items. So this is a little crunchier of a problem than I was expecting to find tonight. But it's interesting. It's very interesting. If you want to look at the pieces of, so which prompts is this? Quest generate. So if we look at the actual prompt data, this is quest generate. So here's the system prompt that we're reading. Yep. Okay. We do inject a list of quest types. And then the user this is mostly injected data. World targets. So let's look at what generates world targets. Now, finally we're looking at code. Here we go. That happens in the quest service. How do those targets get generated? Build world targets. Investigate target IDs. Investigate targets. What are those? Places and NPCs, not items. Absolutely not items. So, yeah, that's what I was worried about. What would it mean to investigate an item? What are the options for where? Because the item is very indirect. An item can. Let's look at item instance data. The item instance model contains a location which can be either unknown, in the possession of a character, or a location. Yeah. And oops. And our actual database, when we look in our database, we can see that the location is its type location and the ID is the actual. I believe that ID could be raw hex coordinates, as we see here, hex 812, and it could also be the ID of a known location, because you have things like the Amorian ruins, which are a known location. It's places. They're called places. I think the word location was overused, and so we called them places. Right, so you have things like Household of Lord Vithrin, and we have the Amorian ruins themselves, which is a location, and it in turn has a hex. So that's. I'm trying to think of what makes sense to put in this. I mean, certainly I could put in here. This is quest items. I'm in the wrong block. Investigate targets. That's what I was trying to get to. investigate NPCs, which is the local NPCs filtered by what exactly? Not the NPC I'm talking to when their discovery state is not located. Yeah, I don't think I have. I do have. Okay, yep. So items have a discovery state. This item is discovery state unknown. So I think I do want. I have NPCs. I need investigate items. Then you stop at autocomplete. That's not helpful. So what is all quest items? Scroll back. Where are all quest items coming from? Yeah, where's that defined? Promise, blah blah blah. Load quest items. Sorry, not local. Load quest items. This is going to the item def service. Item instance service find by character. That's just all items that are associated with this character. Doesn't necessarily mean items that the character owns. You can see the items have a character ID because they're the character is kind of the microcosm of the world, if you will. I can have my account can have multiple characters. Each character can be on their own adventure. So the character ID is ultimately the key of things that belong in this world. So, yep, I think that is in fact all correct. So I think we were in a good spot there. I think we were doing the right thing. So, yep. We do want to filter autocomplete, you're clever. What I want to do is I don't really care about the location type. What I care about is the item's discovery state does not equal located. There we go. Those are investigate items. And then we can chuck in, yeah. The item does not have an ID. It has, let's look at that again. I mean, it does have an ID, but what we really care about is the def ID maybe, or the instance ID is what it really it does have an ID. What are we talking about? A quest item view. It has an instance ID. That's what I need. Great. Kind. Investigate item targets. I'm just trying to figure out what the data type is of this investigate targets that I am building. Seems to be on the fly, kind of figuring it out. Cool. Okay. All right, I've got it in the investigate target, and then it will get into the investigate target IDs. World quest item. Quest items out in the world held by NPCs are sitting on a hex not carried by the player. Now, I think world quest items, I think we do see that showing up in our prompt. Right, because it's building world targets. World targets showed up here. Yep, the world, etc., etc. What actually showed up in our prompt? The world. True state. People, places, items. Yep, bottom shard, 100% there. People. What builds that? What? Okay, so that's got to be this build world targets. Is that building us a nice fat string? It is. Okay. Great. Yeah. Okay, great. So we're going to get the investigate eligible simply from the ID being an investigate IDs, which it is now. Good. But I'm worried I don't see inv tag being used. Yeah, in the item string, right? Items, blah, blah, blah. Format fetch items. Candidate items with location grounding. Okay. Okay, I think what I need is const item star equals items.map. Oh, but this format. That's the format. That is the word format in it. It must be doing something. Formats fetch candidate items. It's just returning us a giant. Yeah. I need to insert whether or not it's rats. Creating bugs. Yeah, okay. So format fetch items is already doing a bunch of formatting on each item. I presume that's reused in a couple of places. Sure is. And it's doing a whole lot of work for me, and I don't want to lose that. I could resplit it on the new line. That feels ugly. Or I could inject a callback for extra data that needs to appear. All right, well. If I just... What, split not a... Does not... Oh, right. Sorry, because it's got to be awaited first. Items dot split slash n map. Okay. Then we are going to do I stir. What's the our inf tag? Oh, we don't have its ID because it's been shunted into a string. Oh, for crying out loud. Writing myself into a corner here. Oh, so look, I have a viewer and they're a horrible bot. Block you. Cool. Okay. Rats. Yep, this problem is getting thornier and thornier the more I dig into it. Humbug. I'm gonna need to put a callback in here, I guess. Show me that usage again. Do we call it with include knowledge tag? We do. What's the other use? What's the other call? Doesn't include. Okay, so I'm gonna include some kind of callback. Do I remember the syntax for this? Off the top of my head, I sure don't. Yeah. Wow, autocomplete. That is scary good. That is what I was looking for. not thrilled with that. Okay. So, right. So, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Call the callback with the item. Okay. Cool. Wow. Wow. How did it know that's what I was after? What? WebStorm, what are you? There's clearly AI at work here. WebStorm with your autocomplete these days. A surprisingly good one at that. Hoof. That is exactly what I wanted, I think. Inf tag. Right? Because inf tag will return an empty string if it's... Yep, sure will. That is 100% what I wanted. Okay. I still got a bug up here, which is, yeah, target kind. I thought you were going to complain about that because mechanics don't have a target kind of item. You can't investigate an item. That's not an actual thing. So, where's that coming from? Yeah, up here. You think it's this target, raw target ID. So I need to, yeah, what I would need is here something like if target kind equals item, we need to look up item location, something, right? Or I need to process it before we even get here. Where are we? We're in the generate draft quest. How did I break this? Investigate target, which was up here in yeah. Oh, it's right there. I did it myself right there by chucking that into the potential targets. Cool. So that's fine. Where did we fall into trouble is down here as we get into the mechanics creation. So these investigate targets work for generating the strings. Right, we like that in. I've lost tabs of all the pieces of the puzzle here. It's the quest. It's the world targets, right? The world targets is builds. Okay, so at this point we're happy with investigate targets. After we build the world targets, then we want to collapse the investigate targets down to dereference the items into their locations. So what if I did something? This feels very hacky, but real quick, I'm just gonna call this world investigate targets. Yeah. Where is this used? Oh God. Right, because world targets takes investigate target IDs. Is investigate target IDs used elsewhere? Oh gosh. Extend question rate scheme to capture the investigate target I've written myself into a corner here. All right, well, it is getting late. It is time for me to wrap up for the night. Unfortunately, we're not getting to an answer here. So this turned into a thornier problem than I was expecting, which is fine. This happens. It was a nice investigation down into the prompt structure of how the quest was built, so that's exciting. And then we got into this problem here, and probably this whole function is just what I'm saying. Generate draft quest. This function is enormous and clearly needs refactoring. It's way too long. And what the trap I'm falling into here is where these variables, when these lists were used, when is it okay to consider an item a target versus not? Because it's okay and it's good, in fact, to consider it a potential target. Based on for the prompt building, because we do want it to say, yes, target, I want you to go find this item. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we want... it's circling. I'm circling here. I'm having... So the real issue that I'm facing here is that ultimately... what we want is the NPC to not say, go investigate this item because I know exactly where it is, because he does know exactly where it is. What we wanted him to say is, hey, go investigate that swamp, right? That swamp, you saw that weird map that had a picture of, looked like maybe that swamp was where the thing is hidden. Go check that place out. So yeah, so in fact, we don't want investigate targets ever to be an item, but we want to pre-fill investigate targets with the known locations of items. There we go. That's the real fix. And I've gone down a bad road trying to put investigate target tags onto the items themselves. All right, well friends, I think that's enough for tonight. I got a plan for how to move forward, how to fix this, but it's going to have to take a lot more brain power. So that is for another night, I suppose. For now, thanks for joining in. If anybody did, I don't. It doesn't seem like it, but maybe you stumbled upon this recording after the fact. In which case, I hope that you stumbled on this because the game is out and it's awesome, and you wanted to see some of the earliest recordings of my development